What's the most religious and traditional city in Europe? It's called Lviv, and it's in Ukraine. Right now, the Russians are bombing one of the world's most Catholic cities. The heart of Lviv, whose name means lion, is car-free, a pedestrian haven that feels like the city's living room. It's where young and old gather on cobblestone streets, singing, dancing, sipping coffee, or sharing a beer. It's the opposite of our often lonely, isolated American society. On Sundays and holidays, Lviv is like a Catholic Istanbul. Churches overflow, and the sound of chant broadcasts into the air. For the weeks after Easter, instead of saying good afternoon or good evening, the people of Lviv greet each other in shops and bars by saying, Christ is risen. In Soviet times, Russia tried to erase Lviv's identity. The Catholic Church was banned, forced underground. But the people held on to their language, their faith, their tradition. And now the Russians are trying to erase Lviv entirely by sending missiles into the historic center of this resilient Catholic city.
Христос воскрес, воістину воскрес.
How does this war end?
That is the question.
What is victory? This is the question. When pro-Ukraine people tell the media their definition of victory, the liberation of Crimea and the breakup of the Russian menace, it's often met with skepticism. To many in America, Ukrainian victory sounds like a slug lounging on a couch with potato chips claiming they're about to climb Mount Everest. Impossible. Champions know that the impossible becomes possible through daily effort. The Ukrainian word for victory, перемога, literally means beyond limits. With each step, new horizons open, new victories are within reach. In March 2022, for Ukraine, victory meant simple survival. Kyiv was on the brink of fall. But today, Kyiv is a vibrant, free, thriving city. Ukraine has destroyed Russia's Black Sea Fleet. Ukrainians are even fighting on Russian soil. We see new possibilities for free people. So when reporters ask,
How does this war end?
we might respond, how do you climb a mountain? You start by getting off the couch, run a few miles, change your diet, and with each step, new realities and possibilities emerge.
I'm not afraid of anything in this world. There's nothing you can throw at me that I haven't already heard.
The White House helps Russia bomb Ukraine. Here's how. Lviv, one of the world's most livable cities, is filled with cafe-lined streets, children walking to school on their own, crowded churches, and young people singing in vibrant squares. On September 4th, Russia launched hypersonic missiles on the city, killing families, including a student from the renowned Ukrainian Catholic University. How did the White House contribute? Those missiles contained American-made components. Despite claims of support,
as long as it takes,
Biden, whose family has well-documented financial ties to Kremlin-linked sources, allows loopholes for Russian businesses, even granting waivers to Russian banks in the oil industry. Worse, Washington prevents Ukraine from striking the Russian bases launching these attacks.
no, he doesn't need F-16s now.
Do you see the reality? The politicians who claim to support Ukraine
As long as it takes.
are doing the opposite,
Sometimes I wonder what the old me say.
aiding those who fear free people while making free Americans tired of supporting Ukraine.
How many $1 billion they accidentally sent to Ukraine?
The only nation where people are willing to live and die for freedom. Hey, Joe, you closed the wrong sky. Look over here. This is what happens when Russia's skies are protected by the White House policy. Just look at this. A girl sitting on a bench in a Kharkiv park until a Russian missile blew her face off.
As long as it takes.
The Biden administration restricts Ukraine from hitting Russian missile launch points, but Russia is free to rain missiles and drones on Ukrainian cities. If you really wanted Ukraine to win,
No, he doesn't need F-16s now.
wouldn't you let them strike the source of the problem, not just the symptom? Why do President Biden and his national security team led by Jake Sullivan, protect Russia while claiming to help Ukraine.
As long as it takes.
Folk in those stories had lots of chances of turning back, only they didn't. They kept going because they were holding on to something. What are we holding on to, Sam? That there's some good in this world, Mr. Fertile, and it's worth fighting for.
Who's in charge? What's the game plan?
Sometimes I wonder what the old me say.
What?
If he can see the way she.
Ukrainian women can show you how to win, from sky to surface to sea. Toward the sky, Antonina Samoylova summited Mount Everest.
I climb Everest to support every warrior, every volunteer, and all the people who were affected by this cruel war, and to give them strength to fight.
She'll go for it straight away. Helmet's off, and she believes she's got it.
On the surface, Olha Karlan won gold in the Paris Olympics.
Thinking about people who defend us, to our servicemen and women.
And in the sea, Katerina Sidorska set the women's freediving world record.
Yeah, hell of a dive she's about to do. We wish her the best. She's getting lots of support from back home in Ukraine, of course.
There it is, there it is. Touchdown!
Each of these women has stories about life in war. How do they train and excel when Russia is bombing their land? How do they stay cool under fire? Joe Rogan, Sean Ryan, and all great American podcasters, maybe take a look. There are no experts.
You're so vain. You probably think this song is about you. You're so vain.
There are no experts. There are those who hate debate. There are those who find truth through dialectic. There are the cozy and complacent. There are the free and fierce. There are the chatterers and fakers. There are the thinkers and doers. There are the nihilists. There are the virtue lovers. There are freedom destroyers. There are freedom creators. The acceptors and questioners. The arrogant and the faithful. And there are indeed those who live in between these extremes. Which way do you want to go? Toward the monsters or toward the human beings? There are no experts, but life shows us this.
Good people become better and evil people become more evil.
You're so vain. You probably think this song is about you. You're so
As long as it takes.
We invite you to follow our channel, the only American show reporting live from Ukraine every day.